This is where the snowbirds really shine. When it snows, they get a lot more active and a lot less afraid of things. Hello, snowbird. Come on. Hello, Junko. Come on, buddy. Yes, come on now, get your food. Come hop over here. There you go. Come on over here and get your food, little Junko. Hello, good morning. Good morning, my friend. Yeah. Hello, Junkito. He's too shy. It's okay. Some other time. Some other time. Okay, guys. Let's enter Winter Wonderland. Nothing like the smell of gasoline in the morning, billowing through this otherwise beautiful sight. This is special. This is a special morning. January 20th, 2025. What we have here is a spectacle of snow. It'll perk you up. It's reminiscent of the spring when all the leaves come in, except the leaves today are inches of snow. Time to wake up. This is a lovely experience, in case you're wondering. Like little doorways opening up after a long-winded sleep. Excuse me. You too, excuse me. They look like palm trees. Their own way. Look at the juxtaposition with the color of the sky. This is pure, unadulterated life. Look at that color. This is a healing video for those who are wondering. I can't wait to revisit it. Actually, I can wait. Excuse me. God's grace. Listen to that silence. Pure ASMR. The muffled sounds of the road not making it, but as a form of a whisper. Constant reminder of God's manifold expression. Today is a very noteworthy day. And I wish to tell you about something that happened to me yesterday, which I don't normally do. However, it's important. Why isn't really the important question? How is the question that comes to mind. The opening of ribs to get to the heart of the matter. At the end of my walk yesterday, which was an unusual path that I took. For some reason, it was what I wished to do. And when I set out, it was close to sunset. There's There's none of this on the ground. However, it was starting to hail and sleet, like a shifting of temperature was occurring. So I entertained it with a walk, as it were. Sorry. Oh, it's cold. That's snow. By the time I finished my walk around the woods, and I had returned to just about where I began, there was this feeling I had with a stone I had in my pocket. Ooh, that's a lot of snow down the neck. There was this feeling I had that I should just pretend like I had a real audience. I mean, one that could truly listen to me because it was here, taking a seat on one of the unoccupied, man-made, no, nature-made benches of a felled tree. I imagine people sitting patiently, listening as if it were a true sermon. That somehow the best parts of me were being allowed attention, for these moments at least. And so I entertained the idea. Started to speak about manifestation and the power of our thoughts. Oh, that I'm going to have to fix. You're going to hear some blowing on the camera. Well, now it's not just a fun activity to knock off that snow before I go under it. Otherwise, issues occur. So that'll be the plan from now on. Anyway, as I was saying, speaking about the past, before I was so brilliantly interrupted by the snow and the light of the sun, as I was saying these things, these profound things about manifestation and how it occurs, I felt right at home, like I was given a professorship that was well earned, that came from putting all this out there for someone to benefit from it without any expectation in return, nor the recognition or anything that would come following that did I seek. Oh, I'll tell you right now, it's like a cold shower every time I try to sneak around one of these branches. So be it. Thought I wouldn't have to deal with the wind today. But it feels like cold, blistering wind every time a shower of this very frost-bitten snow finds its way creeping down the back of my neck. You'll have to excuse me for a moment while I put you down. This may cause issues, so I'm going to put the tripod up. There we go. No issues. Just dropping off some letters to the universe is all. They don't seem to want to go today, yet they have to, for it's beyond the mandate. Okay. Mission accomplished. And on to the macheteing through the Amazon, as it were. So I'm here giving this mock discourse, this sermon, as it were. I keep saying that. Well, I've said it twice at least. And I start feeling like this is natural, beyond the natural feeling that I get when I walk in these woods. And it's a brilliant feeling. It really is. This is a big one, watch. Ooh, oh, it just tickled my face. One of the branches came by for a tickle. What's fun about this path is it's not a necessary one, but it's one I chose to take. You ever find that happen to you? When you're halfway down the path, or maybe even a third of the way, and you don't want to return because you've spent so much energy going through. So you just keep going the rest of the way, which is 2/3 of the way. You ever find that? This would normally be an easy walk, and it's a beautiful one. There's no complaints, of course. This is magic. Magic to have this gift. I know how much my children love the snow and want to be in the snow. So I'm here with them in the nation of images in my mind, entertaining the snow with them. Nothing that anyone could ever do to take that away from us. That's what's beautiful about the imagination. It's incapable of being robbed or meddled with unless you consent to it. Unless you give in to that pressure outside of you that you created yourself. Does that sound strange to you? Does this all sound strange to you? Does it feel strange? It felt so natural giving that discourse. And I wasn't recording, which is unusual. However, considering the time constraints, I figured just go. Because by the time I had everything set up with the camera, what have you, third time, there would be less time for me to walk, less time for me to enjoy and traverse as far as I wished to go before the sun went down. So I went, free of phone and camera. And here I am, giving this discourse to what I believe to be is a good sizable group of young students. and they're listening intently. I ask them, do you know where manifestation comes from? One student, very eager, very smart, she yells out, faith. I say, yes, of course, faith, but what is faith? No one answers. I say, faith is you seeing something as real, while the rest of the world doesn't. That's faith. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, this thing is real to you, yet the rest of the world has not seen it render yet. Still loading, as it were. Still loading. Just as the snow here this morning was still loading. Yet as I saw the beginning precursors, the shifting of temperature from warm to cold, I saw in my mind something much like this. And even by the time I went to sleep in the evening, no signs, not even a dusting of snow on the ground. And it wasn't until about 3 o'clock in the morning when I woke up with an urgency to pee that I saw a bit more light than usual reflecting from the moon through the shades of my window, to know something has happened rather quickly, rather fast. And that there would be no obstructions aside from the ones that I imagined in my mind. Wake up. Today the world changes more than you've ever known or believed to be. Wake up. Wake up. For the snow has already fallen, has it not? Yet so many trees seem to be holding on to the past. Deciduous trees. But you're not going to see this type of holding on with the pines, not in the same way. You won't see their branches bending over to the past. No. You won't see that. Not here. Not in these woods. Wake up. You too. All of you as well. Wake up. Come on now. Time to live. Time to see things through. You too. Trying to hang out there like nothing is going on, but rumination. Wake up. You three. 1, 2, and even you up there, hiding out. 3. Thanks for the shower. I suppose I had that coming. Lots of deer crossing, that's for sure. And we've made it beyond that 2/3 of the way that I mentioned before. It was faster than you might have considered, because we weren't thinking about time, were we? Not so much. And that's what happens with tasks when you enjoy them. Time seems to disappear. As in, remove its appearance. Disappear. And now there appears to be a clear path. How lovely. Up. You too. Wake up. Come on. Oh, you're gonna pat me on the head. Good. I appreciate it. You too, folks. Time to wake up. Come on. Up you go. You too. No more snow. No more past. No more past. No more rumination on time. How life has got you down. Got you bending over backwards, forwards too. Confused and wondering how this could have happened overnight. Come on. Get over yourself. The world has changed. Lest you keep worrying, you won't see it. Wake up. Come on. All of you too. All of you complainers bending over from the weight. You held on to it to begin with. It's not anyone's choice but your own. Wake up. Come on. You too. It's not like people didn't tell you the storm was coming. It's not like you didn't receive the warnings. And they weren't warnings so much as it was a forecast of things destined to come. Blue skies and lots of past. And seemingly the entire world holding on to things that have already happened and are not happening anymore. For the skies appear as clear. In fact, I don't see a single cloud in this clear sky. I do see the sun. I do see the glorious sun. And it feels amazing in this silence. So I will let you enjoy it with me. Wake up. Time to let go of your time. The present moment is here. Lest you forget in rumination, holding on to that which no longer serves you. That which promised you hydration, but you didn't see the fine print, did you? No, it said, yes, we will provide you with hydration. But they didn't say how this hydration would fall from the sky and collect upon you and weigh you down until the temperature, which is outside of your control, decidedly changes. You weren't told that because it was in the fine print. Let it go. Time to wake up. For the coyotes are looking around for complainers. You know how that works. They send out a scout. Seems benign enough, but in truth, just looking for the sweetest opportunity to signal to one's peers that this one has given up. Time to wake up. Time to wake up. As pretty as it seems to be and appears to be, it's time to wake. As pretty as it appears, as pristine as it may seem, to see everything in suspended animation, the greatest of great pauses, it is time to wake. Let those snows fall, and if they're cold and uninviting, so be it. Your body knows well enough how to warm from it. Takes it as a sign and knows how to move forward better than you. So follow your body's lead. Time to get up. See these trees that leaned over on the path? They weren't trying to obstruct anything. They just said, anyone, if you can hear me, please. Ayuda, help me. Help me, says the suspended branch. Help me, says the tree that it's suspended upon. Wake up. You heard the forecast. It said, winter storm warning in effect. Best prepare yourself for a change in weather and conditions. Time to wake up. Little story for you, perhaps you may or may not know, I am an expat of Mexico, and when I first went to Mexico, I'll tell you, it wasn't all roses. In fact, I could say that in truth, most of my experience, aside from the birth of my children, was sour at best. And certainly applying for permanent residency was no exception to that. I recall going to the immigration offices, even before then, crossing the border and having trouble just bringing my car in for more than 6 months legally because it was manufactured in Japan. That should tell you something. In fact, that should tell you a lot. Yes, it was made by Toyota, and you could find plenty of Toyotas right there in Mexico, but if it wasn't made at a plant in Canada, the US, or otherwise Mexico, as it were, then you had 6 months, just like a visiting visa, to get that car up and out of here. That was my welcoming to Mexico. Not very kind. Of course, you could pay a coyote to handle all that. Never have to worry about your car as you get whipped in the face. Only to find that the person took your money to register that car and make it quote unquote legal. Took you for a ride. Didn't do anything that it promised the person. The papers. But it was easier than driving another 34 hours from the capital of Mexico back to the border, trying to make your way through crowds of narcotraficantes and corrupt state police, paying them whatever savings you thought you had, now dwindling faster than a fire hose at full blast. I went to Mexico because I chose to go to Mexico, because I was a pushover pussy of a man who listened to a woman who wasn't even my friend, that I believed would be the love of my life, as my wife. And she took me into the belly of the beast because it was my choice. Time to wake up. And so naturally I faced the consequences. Some things I decided to do legitimately, and those things that I decided to do legitimately ultimately worked out for me. However, they took so much time and so much money and so much effort and so much embarrassment that I would never wish it upon my worst enemy, if I had one. Even knowing how much freedom it would supposedly give them. Time to wake up. You too. But I did it anyway. I went through the legal book process the entire damn time after I got burned enough to realize there was just no other option but to have your time wasted. Because that's what happens when you're living in a totalitarian country that claims itself a republic, as a misnomer, as a lie. And I learned that, and I went through the whole damn process, aching the entire way, learning and losing the entire damn way. And you know what happens in my body? I just want to share this with you. And this is just my own personal experience. It's likely much different than yours right now. Especially if you feel sympathy for those who try to get things easily. Because we find out that those people who are trying to get things easily, they don't always have the best intentions for others. You know, my wife at the time, now my ex-wife, wanted to have things easily. You know, be in her own turf, where the game wasn't fair. And that's the case anytime you come into another country. The game suddenly becomes very unfair. Unless, of course, the country loves you, truly, and wishes to invite you, truly, because you have the proper documentation, truly, and the proper steps in place, truly, to receive good treatment, which I had, but still, that seemingly did not matter, did it? And why I'm telling you this long-winded story, my dear friends, on this beautiful, peaceful winter day, because you, I know, could just listen to the silence and be at peace. I want you to know there are tons of channels on YouTube that offer that for you, and they're being compensated thousands and thousands of dollars to not speak about any of these things. And I seem to be spending those thousands and thousands of dollars that I could otherwise be earning by keeping my mouth shut. I'm spending them with you because the story is more important than my compliance to tyranny. So I spend it. And I spend it wisely. For what would that money mean to me if it meant the shutting of my mouth? I wonder. And then I stop wondering because I understand the value of my freedom of speech goes beyond any monetary value that could ever be thrown in my face and promised to me at a later time. Meanwhile, I watch myself rot with a smile. False. Time to wake up. Come on. I know it's been a tough time. Time to let it go. This represents the past now, as beautiful as it may seem to you, as much as it may be everything. Your entire identity seems to revolve around it. I know. Time to wake. Wake up the woke. Those who have claimed to have been awakened already. Those who claim to be perfectly lucid and aware of all things. Time to wake up. Beyond smelling the coffee, beyond your morning enema of social media scrolling, it is time to wake the fuck up. Yes, when I went to Mexico, I went through the legal process of getting my permanent residency. I went through all of the red tape. I went through all of the trials, all of the mockery, all of the bullshit. And after a good number of times of returning and spending full-blown days wasted when I could have been working, trying my best to earn a living, a wage, I finally got that permanent residency card. And now it serves more like an achievement unlocked than anything else, because I have no desire to return to Mexico. And I don't see my children there anymore. That's how much I have a distaste for that country. Yep. I have a distaste for it because I see how there is no attention being paid to the massive millions of people coming in through that country to pass on through unscathed without a single blip for the most part. No issues with the narcos, because they're going the same direction as the narcos to the United States, and they have walked in knowingly, without any documentation, without any proof that they are within their rights to be there, and took immediately an assumption that they were a citizen with the power to vote like a citizen, live like a citizen, and beyond, occupy spaces of citizens illegally. Time to wake up. While doing irreparable harm to the communities within that were citizens. Never in my right mind would I ever even closely come anywhere near considering such heinous things in Mexico. When I tell you, it would be very easy with the right amount of money and the right amount of backing. You could do all sorts of bad things, and you would have the temptation to do so as an American walking in to what seems to be the wild, wild west. Uncharted territory, as it were, for the sinful at heart. I would never consider such things. Not even being in some foreign country, pretending to be a national citizen. With all of my rights for walking right in. No documents, no proof, no plan other than the plan in my head. Said the 20+ million undocumented illegal immigrants that came in to the United States. So I am different than most. There are many people who are sympathetic towards those who came in. But in this instance, I think of the past and what I went through myself to obtain something in a legal way so that I could just be at peace and not be bothered. So I could be with my children and my wife and try to get an upstart in some way. And so I hold no sympathy for those who went against the books and walked right in. You're going to walk right out if you're lucky. And that's why I'm saying to you, all this snow around you, you didn't think the forecast was true? Seriously? All this time? You heard winter storm warning, but you stayed? And now you're bending over backwards and forwards saying, woe is me. Wake up and get out. That is a nice way to hear it. Because if I were you and I walked into Mexico without any papers, without any plan other than the plan in my mind to do horrible deeds, to skirt by and pay off the right folks, or better yet, do like you did in the United States. Walk in, get your cell phone, get your hotel room, get your gift cards, get your free flights, get your food stamps, room, board, shelter, and still have to complain? Have the guts to complain on social media that you are in a bad situation while there are veterans dying on the street who fought for this country? I can understand why people are so concerned that that narrative is being supported by 40% of our country. It just doesn't seem right to me. Wake up. Judge me, see anger in my face. I've asked God to unwind all of the pain from the past, and you know, doesn't make the story any less impacting. If I walked into Mexico and I did those things, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And if I were told by the president months in advance that I had my free flight out of there, no cost, that I could take it at any time, after offering my vote that wasn't even supposed to be given to me, for I wasn't a citizen of the Republic, for me to not take that flight and stay out of hubris because it worked all along, then I should find, in any sort of lucid moment, find no surprise when the authorities came to me and said, time to go, time to wake up. You've been here illegally long enough. Excuse me. The camera looks dirty to me, and I'd rather brighten it up. So yes, in this discourse that I imagined yesterday, a student, bright young female, asks me, well, what is manifestation, sir? And I say, call me Baba. Because Baba means father. And if I'm your father, that means you're in the best of care. Not like the fathers from churches. You see, those fathers don't have children of their own, but they pretend to. I have children, so I can be Baba. In fact, I don't think anyone who hasn't had children should ever call themselves a father, because they're not. But you can call me Baba, because I have children. And thus you know that I care for you like I care for my children. How you manifest things is through faith. Faith requires you to see something before the rest of the world sees it as existing. Some would call that a premonition. Some would call it delusional. I call it faith. Because I know how powerful the imagination is, and I know where it comes from. And I know what provides it is a superior, infinite intelligence that knows the means and the way to your personal salvation. And because I know this, I trust it without any doubt. I trust faith. I trust the imagination. And so in this discourse, I take out a heartstone of carnelian agate that I found. At this point in time, it would have been much earlier, many years before. And I say, do you see this stone? To one of the boys who is there sitting on one of the logs. He says, yes. And so I throw it to him. And he catches it in his hand. And I say, you can feel that stone in your hand. Did you ask for that stone? I ask. No. Is that stone important to you? Don't answer. Let me just tell you, that stone's important to me. And I just threw it to you. Is it in anyone else's hands? I ask. No. Well, not until it is. And then that would require faith, wouldn't it? But you would have to want the stone first. It would have to have value to you. It would have to have meaning. And until it has value and meaning, it's just a stone from my pocket that was thrown to you. Or perhaps not. Instead, it was thrown to one of your peers, and now it's in your peer's hands and not yours. And the students, young as they are, many of them seem confused. All but one. The student who is sitting there with the stone in his hands, looking down now, in wonderment. Suddenly it had meaning to him, because he could feel it, because he caught it, because he sensed it now as his, a gift from his father. And it was a great lesson, short as it was. I turned at that point and started walking with the students in tow, which is the way it goes in my mind now. I walk and they follow. Because it's a class, not because it's devotion, not because it's a cult or occult. No, it's time to wake up, you know? Time to wake up. Even the most rigid of trees, time to wake. I walk and take the lead because I'm their father. That's what a father does, doesn't he? He takes the first leap, assures that it's safe, checks to see that there are no perils, lays down the foundation for safe travel in case there are them. Isn't that what a father does? More than provide, he provides the way. Isn't that what a father does? I wonder. Perhaps you could tell me, all the fathers of the world who have no children claiming to be fathers. Tell me about how you lead the way. Tell me about your stream. Mine looks pure. How's yours? For I have had no desire but to lead for these children, and if the world has not provided for me, I accept I've made the error. I accept that. Fair enough. But I've never stopped leading. Instead of walking behind them, watching them fall, and doing nothing, I've made myself available. I've availed myself as a teacher. Have I not? Are these discourses not available to you anymore? I wonder. Have I not been taking steps forward for you every single freaking day? Have I not been going through, making a path available to you as your father? As a good father would? Like I said, that doesn't require your devotion, though your recognition of it would be nice. It's not required. The path is here for you to enjoy. In fact, the path is clear for you to enjoy. It's not just here, perilous as it may be, as it were. That's quite a leap. So I started walking from there, and this is where something profound, beyond even what that was as a story, was profound. It was something that I could not try to even explain to you right now, but I'll try. I'll do my best. I make it down the bottom of a hill, right where I have my biggest moments on film with you here in these woods. You'll see the spot eventually. You'll see when we stop. I'll point it out to you, don't worry. I'm here to lead the way. No recognition necessary, no likes, no comments, no subscribes, no classes, no income, nothing needed from you, thank you. For the Lord is my provider. No matter how much advance notice I give you to wake up, no recognition necessary, thank you. You just won't be getting any smiles from me anytime soon, pretending everything is hunky-dory in this world, when all around me I see people bending over backwards and forwards, suffering from time, that which has already occurred and fallen. Wake up. There you go. Live bright. Yes, it was a wonderful moment, I would say. A moment full of wonder. Wake up. When I got to the bottom of that hill, I felt my heart, not on the left, but the heart right here. Not even slightly left. Pumping at a following rate. Boop, 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 boop. And a warmth beyond anything that I've ever felt in my life, emanating from my solar plexus. And there was a split second where I thought, oh my gosh, this is where I die. Something is happening to my heart. But that wasn't my heart. It was my solar plexus, and so I took a deep breath. And I calmed myself while the heart was just exploding. Took in another breath. I said, Lord, I am prepared for this. Please strip away all of the pain from my body right now. Everything that I've acquired in the past. Strip it away. Another deep breath. I take out the heartstone, the one I had just talked about, and I held it right at my solar plexus. This network of fibers, I held it there. Took in another deep breath. And I felt like a cord pulling everything out. And that warmth started to die down, and the beats just returned to normal. The whole duration was maybe a minute and a half. went through the fear of death, and then I reminded myself I do not die. I am prepared. Consciousness does not die. I am that. Though my arms went up to the sky as the hail was coming down, frozen rain, I knew this was all coming from within me, that was the truth, more than anything else. And that I was more than fine. There have been many days where I've said to myself, I feel reborn on this day in these woods. However, nothing so profound as that experience has occurred to me here, ever before. It was a death and a rebirth. A death of time and the pain remembrances of the past, and the birth of my true self. Right there. Because I was childlike enough to entertain the idea that I was a worthy father and teacher for children who are lost. That I was worthy enough to guide them to their truth through a peaceful path, one which is laid out for them. Through my hardship, I made it so. And I went the whole way, the entire circuit, making sure that every single step that could be taken here on the path was already traversed. So these children could see footsteps and know they weren't alone on this given day. May not look much like much to you. To me, it looks like diamonds. But then again, I do think like a child a lot, I know. Feel free to judge all you want. That's why I'm here. For you to otherwise learn, as it were. You see, when you show enough of something, I said this yesterday, people judge. You get close enough to something, you start to label it. You think you know what it is, but you don't really know what it is because you don't know you. You haven't observed your aliveness yet. Perhaps you have. Perhaps you felt it. And then your ego stepped in and said, that's enough, you felt it. Yay, congratulations. Achievement unlocked. Now back to story and our regularly scheduled pain. All the things that seemingly will never pass. Time to return. Back to sleep. You stay still enough and the story just doesn't matter anymore. None of those feelings matter. You feel encapsulated by a womb of creation that nothing can interfere with. brilliant. It's perfect. Have you ever felt such a thing? Emanating from within you on such a given day? Amongst all this past, all these pains, all these burdens, all these weights, there could be such silence and stillness. You could ask the tree that's in agony, it wouldn't believe you. Not until you came by and you said, time to wake up. Find your way. Find the way. See the path. Time to wake up. Yes, my heart has never beat so fast in my life. And I get the reminders this morning, the synchronicities. People feeling things in their hearts before they literally dropped dead. Flat on their face, dropped like a plank of wood. Slapping down imminent death. Never before had I seen those things until recent years. What about you? All of this weight appears in the middle of the night, weighs down on you, and now you must wait until the temperature decides that it can melt it off of you. Except the courageous who thought, I'm going to lean over here towards the path that I once knew so clearly. But I wasn't paying attention to that man who was there. I wasn't listening to him. However, as the snow started to fall, I thought, well, he's the one who can relieve me of all this. He can remove all of this. If I just show him that I need that help, at least me being here on the outskirts, as pristine and beautiful as it may seem to those who look on without a worry or a care, having everything already taken from me, I could at least leave a message for this man. Please, relieve me of my duties. Relieve me of my burdens. Isn't that what a father does? Doesn't a father relieve you of your burdens when he truly loves you? Isn't that what he does? Well, soon enough, I'll tell you, this son, which is a father, and a portal to your truth, to the giving of life and renewal, shall relieve all of the burdens of these trees at about the same time, much like Santa Claus would deliver his gifts to the world. Should be no different. But at least, me being the small, broken avatar that I am, I can help out these stragglers who thought enough to lean over and block my way for the attention that they needed to feel relief. Wake up, my friends. By all means, wake up. Soon enough, the sun will take care of the rest. Come here, all those who are weighed down and burdened and in need of rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light, says the Lord. Wake up. Be at peace. Find yourself renewed again. Wake up. Be at peace. The world awaits you. It always has awaited you. Wake up. Be at peace. The world awaits you. And I'm not going to get every single one that's on the outskirts here, you know. And of course, the first people who walk this path after me will be complaining that the trees that otherwise would be left undisturbed have been somehow shaken and stirred up and freed of their burdens, which otherwise would look so beautiful in unison together as we all stayed in our houses and masked our faces and listened to the bell toll. Wake up. Wake up. Time to live again. Consciousness does not die, so you might as well live. Get used to pretending you live until you make it real. Time to wake up. Don't worry, I'll walk this whole path, the entire circuit, clear it out, make sure you don't have to make your way through. And yes, you can complain all you want that it's been somehow marred by a singular walker who wanted to get here before all else to enjoy the pristine honor of being the first to walk through and make the path. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. That's what I say. Wake up. Because I can tell you, it may be fun the first time the snow falls down the back of your neck and chills you. But you're going to want to give up about a third of the way through if it weren't for these steps being here before you. Trust me, I know. But the air is clean, I'll tell you. All these deciduous trees decidedly dying for a little time, giving up all their leaves, as it were. Never before did I feel my heart beating so fast, so centered. I felt as if something was coming forth within me, a change, a shift, a physical formation shift, something different. Something never seen before. Something never heard before. And I felt like I would just lift off the ground and literally fly. I felt it. I felt a weightlessness come upon me and the child within embracing this brand new gift. The gift of rebirth. Well, the circuit's just about complete now. I hear that ChatGPT has some new agents coming out. Spoke about this about a month ago. Perhaps you thought it was science fiction then. Yet another one of my delusional rants. I know, I don't blame you. But it seems to be coming true now. The fact that I can put aside all the worry of hard work required to get this beautiful offering out to you. All of my books, all of my music, all of my film, and to generate all of those beautiful affiliate sales and to set up a budget for that and to spend the budget for me meticulously and to just inform me every time there's a new sale would be joyful for me. We're there now, folks. And there is no going back. Now I cross. Regardless if it's seen as uncharted territory, I lead the way. And in the months to come, as I lead the way on this path I've created for you, I'll come to appreciate those who are generous with their free acts of kindness. Being a simple tap on the screen is enough for me to remember you. So thank you to those 4 who like these videos, which take hours to make. Thank you. I do not forget you. And I am grateful for you because you're courageously supporting something that seemingly goes nowhere until it does. And when it does, like bamboo, it shoots from the earth. Thank you. Seriously, sincerely, thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for believing in me. We made it. Wasn't sure if we were going to make it to this day, but now we are here. And yes, the terrain may be difficult at first. However, the sun has got our back and the skies are blue, and we needn't worry about consciousness continuing. That's for sure. And we are more that than our continuation of these life experiences and our accumulation of memories. We are much more than that, says I. So come take a walk with me, just as I always say. Lumi, Liam, thank you for being here with me. Always. Thank you for seeing the truth in me. Thank you for being my children and choosing me as your father. Thank you for never giving up on me. I love you. I love you. Thank you for never giving up on me. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. Thank you for believing in me and never letting go of that worthy ideal that somehow I make it against all odds. Thank you. Yes, the snow, as beautiful as it is, presents a physical challenge that is real. Yet the hardest part is mostly done. There's just one last hill to do, and let's do it together, okay? When we come around this bend, it's when it begins. And I'll tell you when it ends. All I ask is that you take it one step at a time. And be here with me. Be present with me. That's all you have to do. Here we go. Circuit's just about complete. I'm hungry. It's good. It's motivating. One step at a time. This is called a top-down angle. It's a fun one. Got a little bit of a fisheye effect too. It's slight. Let's observe together what I see. That's it. The hill is done. I do this in memory of the past. I cover my nostrils. I cover my mouth. And I remember how hard it was to breathe a clean breath, a true breath of fresh air. And I suggest anyone who's made it this far, you do the same and remember how hard it was just to breathe, to put this damned cloth over your face so no one could see your smile, your offering of kindness, and instead just see pain. Wondering when the next moment would be where you could finally take this damned thing off, because it does no good for anyone. It never has. This is a petri dish of cloth. And if I weren't trying to force feed my nostrils erroneously, as best as I could with this damned cloth, I'd be otherwise breathing through my mouth. And you know, even someone as disciplined as I am is getting really damn tired of trying to breathe through an otherwise occupied nostril space. Cloth pressing into my nose, closing my nasal passageways, making me want to give up on the whole thing and just start to suck in air through my mouth like a vacuum. Because once I do that, folks, it's game over. I mean it, it's fucking game over. The moment you start breathing in through your mouth, which we all inevitably do, because it's just too damn hard to breathe through the nose now, lest you forget. It breaks your body down. And the moment you start breathing through your mouth, yeah, you feel some relief at first, because you're taking in more air. But you're just feeding the bacteria that you just put on the backside of your mask from your mouth, touching it, sucking it into the petri dish that is your mouth, designed for food intake as the first step of digestion, not as your breathing apparatus. And what that does is it fucks your immune system, introduces all of these baddies to your lungs. Meanwhile, you've got devices being sent up through your nose and down, touching your brain and down into your upper respiratory system, scraping the whole thing the hell up. Like putting a snake wire down a tube to unclog it. You're putting it down your body. This was required for you to fly, lest you forget. Required for you to fly. So let's just wear these masks a little longer on our walks. And let's wear a bandana proud. I found this cloth on División del Norte in Mexico City, when the streets were empty entirely. I saw it in a puddle of piss and mud and tossed garbage. And I decided I would take it home, give it a good thorough wash, and wrap it around my face every time I was told, you can't come into this place unless you're wearing a mask. And I invited the Lord to test me and test my immune system, just as I am now. It's the same face mask that I wore back when I was mandated to wear one, like you. A petri dish in the making that we put on So we can't see each other's faces. So we're kept at a distance, emotionally, physically, intellectually from the truth. And that's enough. That's enough for a given day, I'd say. For I do this for no one, but for you, an example. And I want you to note the difference. It's a call to action. I want you to record your own video, putting on your mask. Try breathing through your nose for 5 minutes and see how hard it is. Then take it off and see how freeing it is. Knowing that you're inviting filtered, beautiful, warm air up through your nostrils, activating nitric oxide, giving you a boost in endorphins down to the upper respiratory system, and you heal. For the sake of example, because today was the day, is the day that Anthony Fauci was given a pre-pardon, which to me is nothing more than admittance of guilt. It's all it is. Admittance that something very wrong occurred, and it has to do with these damned pieces of cloth and so much more. You don't ask for a pardon hours before a new president comes in to make all the changes and throw down the gavel and bring justice to this world. You don't pardon someone hours before. As a president who hasn't shown his face with lucidity in years, unless there is something totally corrupt about it. And what it is beyond measure, about to be revealed. Put the mask on. Try it out. And then breathe free. Here's the spot yesterday where I witnessed in my mind, in the nation of images, the imagination, students of great intelligence and heart and innocence sitting and listening to me give a lecture, a sermon as it were. And over here is where this child was sitting, right here is where he was sitting, where I threw him the carnelian agate. I gave the lecture, I gave the sermon, I walked down this path. And boy, does it feel good to breathe free. I forgot how obstructive that was, and we did it to our children. So that people who mandated it could get away laughing the entire way, bringing in bank. I mean, it was bad enough what was done, but they made money. Huge amounts of money. Through inside trading. And it was right here, in this very spot, that I started to feel my heart racing. But it's not racing today. Started to feel the warmth as I came down the hill. But I'm not feeling that warmth aside from a continuous contact with God. That's what I feel. Time to wake up. So it's a call to action. Go put your mask on. Walk around for 5 minutes feeling the restriction in your body. Take it off and feel the freedom that comes, and ask yourself, how is it that 6 billion individuals believed all of this bullshit? 6 billion of us. You can ask how. Because the why is coming. You may not see it, but it is coming. And you know it's going to be like a consolation prize for those who saw it. Hey, congratulations, you made it. I know, pretty ruthless, but it was necessary because you see, we can live forever now. We can live forever and we can have as many children as we want, with regulations, of course, because we're going to live forever. Can't have that many people on the planet with the power to live forever. That just would be way too many people. Cause way too many problems. Oh yeah. Little do the fools know, consciousness doesn't die. I once had a course I really loved called The Philosophy of Mind. I took it at a community college in New Jersey at Brookdale. This was many years ago. Many, many years ago. Back in 1998. The professor's name was Dr. Mellert. And I remember him because, first of all, he was a Princeton professor who decided to teach at community college because he cared about teaching things that would unlock your mind to those who are willing, open and available to the idea. So I think of him right now. It's the first time that I heard I become what I think about. Didn't understand it at the time. But still, it stuck with me. It was a seed that was planted somewhere in the back of my mind. So remember that, folks. Next time you entertain thoughts. Because this circuit is complete now. And you become what you think about. Faster than ever before. This is the world we live in now. Better to embrace it than to reject it. And end up being weighed down by it. When there are blue skies awaiting you. Until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for following and subscribing. Thanks for being here and for your time. Everything figures itself out now. Enjoy.